Finally, I want to touch on unit testing a controller action. Now, the index action that we have in the home controller is an async method, and it's not very testable at this point because it has two hard-coded dependencies on web services. Ideally, we'd be unit testing the index action and it wouldn't talk to those web services. We'd be using dependency injection and fakes or mocks to make sure that it doesn't. But I'll leave those discussions for other Pluralsight courses that cover those topics in detail. And I just want to use this simple example for a demonstration purpose, which is, because the index action is now async, I cannot write this simple test and just expect that I'll get a view result back from calling the index action and be able to dig the model out of that to check if it's not null. Because index no longer returns a view result, it returns a task of action result or a task of view result because it's an asynchronous method now. The easiest solution to this problem is to go in and, if you have a test runner that supports it, also make your unit test method an async method. So literally adding the async keyword here, changing this to a task so we give it something back to know when everything is complete. And then what I can do is I can await the controller.index action, and I can cast that result to a view result. That will allow me to get to the model. Now, again, it is important that you have a test runner that supports this. So this is affectionately what we call MS Test, the testing framework that's built into Visual Studio. It supports async unit test. Also, xunit.net, which is a very popular open source unit testing framework written by Brad Wilson and Jim Newkirk, and Brad happens to work on the MVC team. It also supports async test methods. Those are probably the directions that you want to go if you're going to have async controller actions, because it makes testing those actions much easier because you can use async await keywords, which clean up the code considerably.